Guten Morgen, meine liebe Deutsch 1 Schüler. Willkommen zurück. Welcome back, everybody. I'm looking forward to talking through our topic for today, Modalverben, with you through this screencast. Before we get started, please make sure that you also have the guided notes for this presentation opened up. Should be linked in the same page on Canvas as this video. And make sure that you fill out the notes as we're going through this video, and then submit those notes filled out through the Canvas assignment as well. If you have any questions related to what we're talking about with this, by all means, feel free to reach out to me via email, and hopefully we can get some things clarified either in writing or possibly even with a little video chat in a group or individually. So, wir beginnen mit unserer Diskussion, Modalverben. So, wir sehen diese Verben hier am Beginn. What do we notice about these sentences? Er kann nicht gut tanzen. Ich kann super tanzen. Aber wir können nicht gut tanzen. What do we notice about all of these sentences? Well, in all of them we can see that there are two verbs per sentence. So we've talked about this briefly in class, but something that we have to accentuate when we're talking about these modal verbs is that there's always going to be a second verb toward the end there. All right. So normally when we're doing our German sentences, as you know, we have our first verb conjugated, and in the second position. That's often the second word in the sentence, but not always, the second piece of the sentence. And now we're going to see the second verb actually goes toward the end of the sentence and is in the infinitive form, or sometimes I also call unconjugated. That's different than English grammar, which we've talked about, but that's the way it's pretty much going to be all the time in German. You never are going to have something like kann tanzen nicht gut. That's never going to work in a German sentence. It will always be kann nicht gut tanzen. And the second action, in this case tanzen, will always be at the end with the en ending. You're never going to say kann nicht gut tanzt. That's not correct. Always tanzen, always the en ending. Alrighty, so similar to what I just talked about, second verb at the end, no conjugation. First verb, always conjugated for the person doing that action. We can versus I can. Und für die Modalverben, for our modal verbs, we'll have to note that the conjugations are a little bit weird on these. So on all of these, on your verb sheet, make sure you fill this out in the correct way. First, we have können, which means to can or to be able to do something. Oh, I can speak German. Ich kann Deutsch sprechen. We have ich kann, du kannst. Why don't you say these with me as we go through them as well? Er, sie und es kann. Wir können, ihr könnt, und sie können. So as we'll see with all 7 of our modal verbs going forward, this side, the singular person, I, you, and he, she, it, there's often a stem change in there. It looks different than on this side with the wir or the ihr. Keep the note of that because that's something that we're going to be hearing a lot, and it sounds kind of silly in German if you say ich könne, because that's wrong. So I want to make sure we do the right. Ich kann versus wir können. So that's can versus be able to. So why don't you pause the video right now, and why don't you tell me what's going to be the right form of können that goes in these two blanks. Now that you're back, you can see, ich kann gut tanzen und kann nicht gut tanzen. Maybe you'll be talking about yourself. Hey, ich kann gut tanzen, aber Herr Scholz, kann nicht gut tanzen. Ooh, it looks the same. Remember, those are different conjugations. I versus he. Alrighty, müssen is our next modal verb. And we're going to use müssen when we're talking about to have to must something or to have to do something. Note that's not the same as to have. Ich habe. It's have to. Ooh, ich muss etwas machen. Du musst, no umlaut. Er, sie, es muss. But wir müssen, slightly different sound. Wir müssen. Ihr müsst. Und sie müssen. All right, again, why don't you pause the video and fill in what the right conjugation for the verbs here is going to be. Und die Antworten sind, nach der Schule muss er seine Hausaufgaben machen. Alle Kinder müssen zur Schule gehen. Ooh, we note it's the right conjugation for they, the kids. Ooh, he must, one person, he. And then both of these, we have our second verb, to do, to go, at the end in the infinitive form, the en form, unconjugated, if you will. Okay, next modal verb, wollen. Wollen is to want something. Ooh, I want ice cream. Ich will Eis essen. Du willst. Er will. Sie will. Wir wollen. Ihr wollt. Und sie wollen. Alrighty, why don't you pause the video again and see if you can tell me what are going to be the conjugations that go in these two blanks. Alrighty, see how you did. Ich habe keinen Hunger. Ich will keine Pizza essen. Wir gehen morgen ins Kino. Wollt ihr mitkommen? Alrighty, so thinking about, hey, this is an ich conjugation, so it's will. Just sounds right. Hopefully, as we practice and practice, it'll become natural just to simply hear that. But always remember, on the other side of the conjugation tree, the wir, ihr, and sie, it's often going to be the stem form. So changes in these it doesn't. So not wollt ihr mitkommen, but wollt ihr mitkommen. Also, a quick little side note, we see here, ich habe keinen Hunger, ich will keine Pizza essen. This verb is in the second position, as it always will be, and then the other verbs at the end. But here, it's not seemingly in the second position. Why is that? Remember, the one time that verbs are not at the second position in a German sentence is when it is a yes-no question. Remember, the verb comes very first. In German, we don't say, you want to go to the movies with me? We say, want you to go to the movies with me. So always keep that in mind. Alrighty, sollen are should or we are supposed to do something. I should get up for school. We'll see if I will. Ich soll, du sollst, er, sie und es soll, wir sollen, ihr sollt und sie sollen. If you haven't been doing it, remember, follow along with me saying the verbs as we go through. So you can just rewind and say that with me. And note on sollen, this does not change on this side. We still have the O in all forms. Not all modal verbs will do that, but this one will. Then the endings are the same. No E, no T here. Soll und soll. Ihr sollen, sollt und sollen. Alrighty, pause the video and why don't you fill in what you think is going to be the right conjugations for all of these. Alrighty, see how you did? Das Kind soll Brokkoli und Tomaten essen. Man soll nicht zu schnell fahren. Right, remember, man here, that does not mean the man. Man with one N, that's our impersonal you, as in a person should do that. One should make sure that they help out their friends. Not necessarily specifically one you person, but people as general, a person, a human. Man soll nicht zu schnell fahren. Alrighty, we've heard this one in a sentence that we all are familiar with. Dürfen, that's to be allowed to have permission to do something, kind of like may. Alrighty. Ich darf, du darfst, er, sie und es darf, wir dürfen, ihr dürft, und sie dürfen. All right, again, to may, to have permission. Make sure you're saying these with me as well. Alrighty. Well, we've seen that first sentence a couple of times. Why don't you pause and tell me what's going to be the right form of all these sentences? Yeah, you know this one. Darf ich zur Toilette gehen? And of course, don't need to ask that right now very often. Okay, darf ich zur Toilette gehen? Und dann Herr Scholz oder ein anderer Lehrer oder eine nette Person sagt, ja, du darfst zur Toilette gehen. All right, coming toward the end here. Seen this verb before as well, but this is actually one of our modal verbs, so it's a helpful way to think through the entire structure of all these. All these three are going to have slightly different stem than over here we have that base form. And remember, we don't say ich mag or ich möge. Drop the e. We still have the st. No t here, but then en, t, en. So let's say this all together real quick. We know mögen. Wir mögen Deutsch und wir mögen das Wort mögen. Ich mag, du magst, sie es mag. Wir mögen, ihr mögt, und sie mögen. So this hopefully will be a nice and easy practice for you. Why don't you again pause the video and fill in what these are going to be. Alrighty, you got it right, I hope. Wir mögen Horrorfilme nicht. Der Film Scream ist so gruselig. Hey, mögt ihr das Theater? Ja, wir finden Shakespeare sehr interessant. Alrighty, and then our last modal verb, this one's kind of the wild card. Still follows our general rule, but slightly different endings that we have to watch out for. So möchten, say that with me, möchten, is to would like to do something. Alrighty, so mögen, that's, hey, I like bananas. Ich mag Bananen. When we're asking, hey, I would like to eat a banana, you'd say, ich möchte eine Banane essen, then at the end. Du möchtest, sie und es möchte, wir möchten, ihr möchtet, und sie möchten. Follows the same principle, if you haven't already noticed. Ich and sie, es have the same conjugations. It's like with mag. Hey, mag das nicht. Ich mag das nicht. We don't say ich mag or mag. Same thing on here. These are the same, but instead of just saying möcht, dropping kind of what would feel like the stem ending, you do have the te, and then te, and then plus st. Te, ten, tet, te. So it follows a similar conjugation chart, except a little bit different on as yes, but that's how it goes. So these, why don't you fill in all four examples of what's going to be with möchten in these sentences. Pause it and see what we can get. And hopefully we got them all right. With möchten here, ich möchte eine Bratwurst. Hey, Hans und Franz, was möchtet ihr essen? Oh, wir möchten Schnitzel essen. Und dann, das ist Franz, sein Bruder, ja, möchte eine Cola. Alrighty. So das ist alles. That's everything that we're talking about with modal verbs today. We have one more quick Google form, which I would like you to fill out, where we're checking, hey, do I recognize what the right form of different conjugations would be? We're going to practice using these a lot in the future, and you use them a ton when you're speaking. So let's make sure that we really feel like we got them down now, and make sure if you have any questions or if you could use some additional explanation to reach out to me. Otherwise, ihr macht das sehr gut und ich glaube, ihr könnt das schon perfekt lernen. Okay, bis später.